Hello, we are live. Hello, everybody. We are back. Oh, we this go live last week, like 4 days ago. We are back. Yeah. So we have been sharing about business expansion with feminine energy, and this is our episode 3. And today, hello, Janet. So Janet from Vancouver, BC, and I'm currently in Japan. um, and so we are going to talk about business expansion with femininity, and specifically about receiving and allowing. And I really notice about myself that it's sometimes it takes something, or it's not easy to just trust and allow things to come into my life.
Yeah. And I want you guys to, like, you know how sometimes when we look at people or we look at like a woman or something, and when she walks by and everything just comes to her, like, or if she's in a really beautiful relationship and you're like, how does she do it? Like, what is she doing that we're not doing? Like, we're such great catches, or we're doing all the right things. But yet for some reason, this lady has it effortlessly coming to her. And that's the difference between receiving and allowing. Because as a like feminine woman who is like embodying that energy, it's opening up a portal to abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so it's like a form of self-love and respect for yourself.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when I met my husband, it was like that. And beforehand, I ended the previous relationship, and then I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna focus on healing myself for 3 months. Like, I'm not gonna date anybody. I'm just gonna focus on healing and, you know, letting go of whatever it doesn't work for me to be happy. So I did that, and then I mean it's continuous, right? But I did that intensively for 3 months, and then he just showed up when I wasn't looking. I was even saying, "Oh, I'm just so happy to be single. I love being single." Then he showed up.
Oh man, it always happens that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, for anything, right? When we attached, when we want something and attach, and and try to force the outcome, just like receiving, allowing, and naturally showing up, really it doesn't happen.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
And yeah, and with the whole allowing and receiving thing, like, I guess as like for us, we think there's power in giving all the time, or like doing for people, when it's as powerful as to receive as giving. And I think that's something we have to shift as well.
Mm.
Because we were just saying before this call, like, oh, we have a hard time, we're bad at receiving and allowing.
Mm.
But we actually have to understand that receiving is just as powerful as giving. So
Right. Yeah, I notice it's a habit too, but like receiving, it feels like it takes vulnerability to receive.
mhm. Like,
Like,
I'm curious what goes in your head when you have to receive something from someone.
yeah, receiving, it feels like receiving is like like I'm missing something, or like powerless, so that someone has to give me something. So tendency is that no, 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 I'm okay. Like I can provide the
Yeah.
rest. which is very masculine, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been practicing since I got married, like, because he wants to provide, he wants to give, but if I keep saying no, I can do this by myself, I don't need you,
Yeah.
he's gonna be powerless as a man, right? Because that's man's job, I guess.
So imagine asking the universe or God or, asking for your prayers or whatever it may be, and then saying, no, I got this. The exact same thing.
Right.
Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's like, wow, if
Right.
you realize you were stopping yourself from all the abundance that you ever wanted, you would definitely shift that in a heartbeat.
Mhm. Yeah, that really, like, it's related to me slowing down as well. Because when I'm doing like quick, like, okay, so I need to give, or I need to do this, I need to do this, like, I got this. No, I don't need the universe. Like, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Versus like slowing down is really like allowing things to happen.
Mhm.
And then I had that, miraculous day last week. So that's, I guess, by slowing down for me, like, it's giving the opportunity, giving the universe opportunity. And I'm just really allowing the universe provide me something.
Yeah, the universe delivered all last
Yeah.
week so
Mhm.
magically.
Yeah.
And that was surrender versus control. When the divine
Right.
feminine lets go of control, then you get to trust the process of life, and that's very important because when you're in your masculine, you don't trust at all. So
Right.
that takes you out. It gets very overwhelmed,
Mhm.
scared, like resentful. Right? There's so many emotions there when you
Mhm.
have to take the lead.
Right.
And so,
I
what?
just,
Yeah.
mhm.
What were
Yeah.
you saying?
Yeah, I just realized, like, receiving, allowing, especially receiving, I was without thinking, I was doing that this week. I was showing Janet, but I bought this machine for my like head spa. I went to a hair salon, which is receiving too, like, you know, give myself a little treat, and I did head spa, and
Mhm.
then I went for a massage the next day. So
Yeah.
that's also, it's a good opportunity to receive, practice to really receive those treatment,
Yeah. That's
physical treatment.
yeah. Yeah, that corresponds with meditating, right? Practices for yourself, feeling your cultivating your energy and feeling your emotions. Like all of that is like the physical aspect, the spiritual aspect, all combined in one.
Meditation can be always, cannot be like receiving, allowing, like, okay, I'm gonna meditate,
Right.
you know
Your intentions behind it is very
yeah.
important.
But
Right.
you really, like, a real intention of meditation is really this, right? Like receiving, allowing, really letting go, letting it be.
You know what is a really good example if I were to compare it with like Disney, Cinderella and Disney,
Mhm.
how like they took everything away from her and she just at that moment she let go of the significance
Mm.
and then magic happened.
Oh.
That yeah,
Mm.
I thought that was a very good example of the divine feminine and trusting.
Wow. So true.
Yeah, it's like everything that could go wrong went wrong because
Right.
she had all the things in place to go, and then everything that could go wrong went wrong.
I'm gonna watch the Cinderella story.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And so when you I don't know, like that's the beauty of it all. I think that movie is a prime example of us practicing to be there and to be in the role of um, feminine, divine, feminine energy.
From my point of view, your way of being is really feminine. I don't know how you feel about yourself, like how you're feel. Do you feel that like you're living with femininity?
Yeah, I definitely do feel that to a certain extent, for sure.
Mm.
Like I make a conscious effort to, well, not conscious, I shouldn't say conscious. I naturally make an effort. I naturally operate with love,
Mm.
like
Mhm.
choosing and doing the things that I love, right? Versus like control for the most part. But
Mhm.
yeah, when it comes to like relationships, or that's why I started to date so much, because I wanted to practice not paying for the bill.
Oh.
Because that was still the masculine in me, where
Mm.
I felt like I had to be in control and to feel safe. So in my head, if I pay for the bill, it's all good. Like you don't owe me anything, I don't owe you anything, right? But now that I've practiced it so much, that I realize that it's an honor for someone to have you in their presence. And so when I do go for dinner now, it's like, yeah, it's like we both have good qualities that we're giving to each other or whatever it may be. But it's like, it's an honor for people to have you in your presence, like, and vice versa. So allow that to happen and let them absorb, who you are and at that moment. So I don't go into dates. Well, I'm not dating anymore, but I don't go into dates anymore feeling like I should do this or that. I actually just stand at the door and let the door open. I don't I don't pay for the bills, and that was something I really had to practice.
Mm. I
Um,
see.
mhm.
Yeah, I think everybody has a different sort of habit, and I don't have that, but I have like different way of you know
Yeah.
um, performing
I oh,
performing masculine.
what popped up for me and you is like, ask yourself, when I don't feel safe, what do I do? Dot dot dot.
Sorry, can you say it again?
When
Do
I
you
don't
feel-
feel when I don't feel safe, what do I do?
So I'm gonna type this. What I when
Yeah, when I
I
don't feel
feel
safe, what do I do?
safe, what? Oh, this is an interesting. What
It just
do?
literally popped up right now as we're speaking. So that's a good question to ask yourself and to see how you're operating in the world, because once you have that moment of your nervous system reacting, then you're going to either, like you said, right? Like, how, if you don't feel safe, let's give me a situation where you wouldn't feel safe, and how would you operate?
I become really stingy.
Mm,
Yeah, that's the opposite of who I am.
yeah, so
Like stingy, not stingy like I don't give you money kind of stingy, but like energetically, I don't speak generously.
mm,
I don't share myself, like really closed and skeptical, cynical, sarcastic, say mean things when I don't feel safe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you were to, now that you see that, and if you were to operate out of your feminine, how would that look like? If I don't feel safe, and
I think I would just say, like, I don't feel safe right now.
yeah,
Nothing's wrong, but this is how I feel right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and allowing yourself to speak that into existence, right? It sounds so simple,
Mm,
yet everyone doesn't allow them to speak that. It
right,
it translates into something else, like suppression.
right,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah, that's vulnerability.
yeah, yeah, strength and vulnerability all in one. That
Mm,
is true strength. is when you can be vulnerable.
Right.
And that's what so many of us are missing right now, is that moment right there.
So the question is, why can't we be vulnerable and say, like, really express how we truly feel?
Mhm.
You know, I watched a movie yesterday, Japanese movie, and they were all like talking about that, and a lot of marriage is not working because of that. It's a simple thing. The wife was like crying and saying, like, I couldn't say, what was it? Like, I couldn't say, watch me, pay attention to me. I couldn't say that to you, to her husband.
Hmm.
And the husband says, like, I just needed to be heard, but I didn't say that. And
Yeah.
then, their marriage was transformed after they expressed that.
Wow.
I was bawling watching the movie. It was a beautiful story. So, like,
Because wow.
it's like, why we can't say that?
Yeah, what's there for you? Like, what is the protection, or what do you like? I want everyone to ask themselves, like, why is it at that moment where you could just simply say, I feel not safe, or I feel like I'm not seen, or whatever it may be? Why does it stop you from saying that, and then it translates into suppression, control, defensive mechanism? Like, there's all that reaction.
Feels like I lose my control.
Mm.
Yeah. So if I become vulnerable, share openly, like with my marriage, let's say, and then he's gonna take the lead, means I'm gonna lose, which is not true, but that's how my brain thinks. I'm
Mhm.
gonna lose my control. He's gonna start controlling, and I can't control, or I can't lead the
Mhm.
way that I want.
Mhm.
It's crazy. That's how I think. It doesn't make sense.
So now that we're speaking it out loud, do you think it's going to be easier for you to have access to your feminine when you're in a moment of reaction?
Well, it's, I guess, one step closer because I just distinguish this, right? Okay,
Yeah.
this is so, next step is to really catch it in the moment,
Yeah.
because, like, the reaction, the moment we react, it's really strong, right? So
Yeah.
then catching that, like, wait a minute, no, I'm reacting right now. I'm
Yeah.
being defensive right now. It's time for me to express my true feeling. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can go there at the moment, but that's the practice, right?
I think when you have a moment reaction, instantly think of how do you feel, and versus I feel versus I hate you. Like, I think because reaction is,
Yeah, like this, right? Not this, but
yeah.
like really look at how I feel. That's really honoring myself and honoring how we feel.
Yeah.
It's this habit of like ignoring how I feel. Yeah.
I love how you said that, honoring yourself.
Mhm.
We definitely do not honor ourselves enough.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Mhm.
We let external factors define us when
Yeah,
there's,
that's totally femininity, right? Like feminine, like we treat ourselves. So um, in the Bible, they talk about that too, right? Like woman's body is something like really vulnerable. So treat women with with care or something like that.
Mhm. A woman's body is sacred. She's
Mm,
the core. It's like the core of the earth. She holds that like foundation of the whole Mother Earth.
mm,
That's us.
right.
That's our power.
Mhm.
So,
And then what comes to me is like, oh, men don't treat us properly, but you know,
are you treating yourself?
Start from me. Always.
It always turns back to us. If you find that, men aren't like, it was a hard pill to swallow for me. Like, if men aren't treating you properly, or if you're meeting the wrong kind of men, and my dating history is like, damn, Janet, it's because you didn't love yourself.
Yeah.
You tolerated all of that, but you needed to understand that you didn't at that time.
Right. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this. And I put this question: when I don't feel safe, what do I do? So really, you can also ask yourself and see your pattern. Like, basically, when you don't feel safe, you become defensive or some sort of reaction, right? So, we all have that because we need to survive. But we can come out of that.
Totally.
Because being defensive is really feels like we're wasting the beautiful moment.
Yeah.
To experience.
It's so exhausting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's basically like you're hitting the brake and then accelerating at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's exhausting. You use a lot of gas. Awesome. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you. We'll
And we're gonna come back next week. So please share when you don't feel safe. What do you do in the chat so we can discuss further? And have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Janet.
Thanks, Chikako. Bye.